Hi there guys, it's Izzy. People have been asking me what my add-ons are, and so I thought I would make a quick video to show you guys exactly what each one does, um, and the names of them all. I'll also be putting a list beneath my video window for quick reference. But this should give you guys an idea so I don't have to explain it quite so often as I do for new viewers. Alright, so I'll real quick show a list of all my add-ons here. You can see I use quite a few of them. Alright, so one by one, as you can see my mouse here, I'm scrolling along the top of my bar. This is sometimes, the majority of this is covered up by a piece of my overlay during the stream. But this is part of Wicked's framework. It's Wicked's toolbar. When you install Wicked's framework, you get a bunch of extra stuff, and that's one of the things that comes with it. As we can see, we'll go into add-on settings. You can see Wicked Suite, and there's all kinds of things. Wicked Auto Repair comes with that. This thing is a lifesaver. I was forever forgetting to repair before I got this add-on, but now it works great. Every time you go to a vendor, it repairs for you, which is really helpful. Because if you're like me, you'll forget, and then you'll go into a dungeon and you'll have no durability on your gear, and you'll get hit like you're wearing paper. So, what else? Enhanced chat. I don't really think I use this one. I haven't really played with it. The enhanced hub. This is pretty cool if you like the way the original player frames looks, just the bar. This allows you to move things around and also add a numerical overlay over it, so that you have a little bit more ideas to what's going on. So that's pretty nice. I don't use that because I use FTC's frames. I've gotten kind of used to those. Wicked also has some stuff in here for macros. I don't use macros at all. I really don't even know what the hell that's all about, but if you're so inclined, Wicked's framework has a whole thing to use macros, and it sure does sound cool, but I don't use it. Next is Outfitter. I'm not sure how people survive in this game without some form of this add-on or another. As far as I know, this is the only one there is out there. It's the only one I've ever tried. It works great most of the time. It's a little glitchy, but it works great most of the time. And in this game, you just end up with so many gear sets, and you also end up with a lot of skill bar setups. And you can save both of those using Outfitter. So I highly recommend this one. And then there's Wicked's toolbar here, and there's all kinds of different things you can put on there. This has got the time, my FPS, my ping, where I am, my level, how close I am to the next level, and since I'm max level it says 0. I think there might be a way to change that to champion point status, but I'm not really worried about it. The next one is my horse. As you can see, the number's all at 0. That means I need to feed my horse. This is the percentage of my bag space that's left. This is how many soul gems I have, empty and filled. This is how much gold I have. This is how much AP I have, and my rank, serial rank. And this here goes with your researching. So each one of these is this one's clothing, or this one, the high one, is probably clothing because I'm maxed on most of those. So clothing and blacksmithing and woodworking, and that's how long until I have free spots for researching. And all of these things can be, their format can be changed, so you can kind of look at things a different way if you want. So that's really cool. What else is there? As you can see, my floating combat text here. That's from an add-on called Combat Cloud. That's this, and it has a lot of options too. You can customize it. I kind of go with the default ones because I really haven't seen any reason to change it. But that's really helpful. it's got a nice stylish look to it. FTC also does that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I actually like the way this add-on does it better. I think it looks better, and I feel like it's a little bit more accurate, maybe. So I use Combat Cloud for my floating combat text. Next is my frames here, and I can't really point to it because when I go into cursor mode it disappears. But as you can see, my player frames there with my health, mana, and stamina. Magicka, sorry. That is FTC, and I have a lot of the things turned off in a lot of the functions turned off in FTC. But we'll take a look at it here. And also up here in the corner, this is your DPS, your HPS, and I think this is your damage taken. But here are the things that you can do in FTC. You can enable the frames, which I have, enable buffs. It puts your little buffs, long-term buffs down here, and it puts your short-term buffs underneath the frames. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these buffs, these are estimated. It goes by when you it goes by when you press the button, and it estimates how long the buff will last. It's not actually querying to see what buffs you have. That was removed from the API before the game went live, and I'm not sure they ever put it back. I don't think so, judging by the kind of inaccuracy of that. So there's some different things you can do. You can reposition the FTC elements, and like I said, I have the scrolling combat text turned off because I use Combat Cloud. Now, Zero Siege, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know what the hell this does, but I was told I need to have it. Apparently, it makes it so that you automatically have the right amount of siege that your raid leader wants you to have. I don't have it set to do anything, so it hasn't done anything yet, but apparently it's kind of like something you need to have if you spend a lot of time in Cyrodiil, and people are always yelling at you because you have no siege. Now, Filter It is one of the best add-ons I've gotten. What it does is it adds all these different categories to your bag. So like instead of just having to look through every single weapon you have, you can like break it down. I'm going to look at all the one-handed mace, look at the one-handed swords. I'm going to look at all of the destruction staffs in my bag, you know. So you can kind of like split everything up, and man, does it make it easy to find stuff in your bags, which has been an issue as far as I'm concerned. Here you can see this is Wicked Outfitter. This is the one for the actual gear, and if you go to your skill, this is Wicked's Outfitter for your skill bar. Thought I'd add that. Let's see what else we have here. Another thing you'll notice is that my bags, instead of having words, they have icons. This feels more efficient than the long list of stuff, and those of us coming from other games where icons were, you know, iconography? Yeah, iconography. For those of us who are used to iconography, then this is sometimes more helpful. But if you're used to the words, it may take a little while for you to not throw away stuff in your bag that's important, and that's another thing that can be helped. Let's see, I want to say one of my add-ons does it. I'm not exactly sure, but I want to say it's Filter It. I believe you can mark things. Yeah, you can mark things as saves, so they have marks on them, so you won't accidentally throw them away, which is like really big, because it's pretty easy when things have the same icon to like accidentally throw things away or deconstruct them, that kind of thing. So that's inventory grid view here that makes things look like icons. Research Assistant is also helpful. It puts a little box. Get to some. See these little boxes? These are like gray, you know, not highlighted boxes, and that means that I have already researched that trait for that gear type, for that crafted item type. Now over here you see this is red. That means I really need to research that, and this is yellow. I don't know what the different colors here mean. Maybe like the ones that are really difficult to find versus the ones that are easier to find. I honestly don't know, but red and yellow means that I probably shouldn't throw it away or deconstruct it if at all possible, because I can research it. So that's really helpful, trying to keep track of all the things you need to research in this game. So the next one, let's see, well, it's what I showed. So research assistant, we talked about that. Healer group frame, I can't really show you that because I'm not in a group, but basically what that does is it changes the way your large party raid frames are. You know, it turns into little boxes when you get into a large party. Well, this makes it so that even a small party is in those little boxes, which I think is pretty cool too, because I don't really like the standard party frames. It shows you, it changes the color of the frame when you have like a regeneration thing on you or a shield, and that's pretty helpful. It gives you a little bit more information. It's not perfect. It's not like a WoW raid frame, but it's definitely better than the standard. So I recommend that one. That's Healer's group frame. And then of course there's Awesome Guild Store, which again, real quickly, it basically makes it so that you can search like very narrow search parameters. You can save searches, so you can go from guild store to guild store and search for the same thing without having to reinvent the wheel every time you get to the interface, which is really nice. So it makes it, you can search for very specific things. Still doesn't have like a word search, I don't think, but you can like narrow the category down to and pretty much find anything. So I really recommend Awesome Guild Store if you do any interaction with the guild stores out there, because the interface sucks. What else is there? I think that's pretty much it. The other one's pretty self-explanatory. Sky Shards is a Garkin add-on that basically shows sky shards on the map. Shows them as black when you don't have them, shows them as white when you have collected them. And I don't have it installed because I'm maxed on the Mages Guild, but there's also one exactly the same but for lore books, so that you can find lore books in the world. I really recommend that for new players. Sous Chef tells you, like, when you pick up an item that is like a provisioning material, it tells you whether or not you need it, whether or not what, I guess, recipes it's used for, and you know, so basically it just shows you the usefulness of the provisioning mat when you pick it up, which can be helpful because there's a lot of provisioning mats out there. You don't always remember what you need and what you have recipes for and what kind of recipes they go into. So Sous Chef is really, really helpful trying to navigate the new provisioning system. Well, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and if you have any questions about any of the add-ons I've discussed, you can leave a comment below and I will try to answer them. By the way, all of these add-ons are available at esoui.com, and I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the description as well. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.